Welcome to the world of CDR Beer Lab, the fast and easy-to-use analysis system designed for breweries of all sizes. With CDR Beer Lab, you can monitor in real time the quality of your beer, from the grain to the finished product, analyzing parameters like bitterness, color, alcohol content, and much more, all directly in your brewery. No more waiting for lab results. As the Brewfeast brewery claims, with CDR Beer Lab, the immediate benefit was undoubtedly the speed of execution in the various analyses that we undertake here in-house in the internal laboratory. Simple, accurate, and fast. With CDR Beer Lab, controlling every stage of production is within everyone's reach. Let's discover how to enhance your beer with a professional tool and immediate results.
Hey guys, I'm Seth Caddell. I'm one of the co-owners of Coastal Fermentory out here in Newport News, Virginia. This afternoon, whenever you are watching this video and whatever time zone you're in, I am here to tell you guys or talk to you a little bit about this concept of aggressively doing good. Our brewery, a little bit of background to get started. Our brewery, Coastal, has been open since late 2020, so we're nearing up on our 4th anniversary coming up, and we've been working with community partners pretty much since the very beginning of our business. I come from a background where I worked in a church for a long time, and one of the things that I was passionate about when we were first opening up a brewery was creating not just a business that can pay bills, not just a brewery that puts out some world-class beer, but I wanted to build a business that was an asset for our community. And really, we know that breweries are good at that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but the whole idea of this talk today is to hopefully push us all forward and get us all, as brewery owners, as brewery employees, as management, as front of house workers, as back of house workers, to get everyone on the same page and to get excited about the amazing things that we as small businesses, the amount of good that we can do for our communities and right where we live. And so without too much intro, I want to dive in. A little bit of credibility type stuff. We've here at Coastal, we've been open for a while. As I mentioned, we've won multiple local awards for our generosity and our charity stuff, our work with a lot of different nonprofits, a lot of our philanthropic concepts that we've done. And over those 4 years, really what it's come down to is that we've worked with over 70 different nonprofits. We've donated over $60,000 to those various nonprofits. We have built a well-oiled machine as part of our weekly charity nights. And I do not believe that our process is everyone's process. I'm not here to tell you if you don't do it like me, you're doing it wrong. And so there's a lot of good that's being done in breweries, and it looks a little different from ours. And I'm A-okay with that because people are getting taken care of, our communities are better places, and we have this amazing chance to continue to build on that. One of the fun things that we do to keep this information in front of our staff is that on an annual basis, we release a small card that we put behind the bar for our front of house workers. We make sure staff get really just kind of sharing some of the big wins from us from the year. And so this is an example of what that card looks like. One side just kind of has the little infographic, the highlights. The backside has very real stories that come from some of these nonprofits that we partner with. Everybody loves a good story. Everybody loves to be able to feel like they're making a difference. And so we want our staff to be on board with that. We want our staff to know that they had a role to play in doing all this good for our community. And sometimes just knowing you're doing good versus hearing these very real stories makes a massive difference, where it's not just this vague, I'm doing good for my community, but it's very specific how we're making a difference for these nonprofits. That's the real thing, or the real gist of it. The question I want to talk about today: how can you help your brewery get better at giving back? I'm gonna give you a couple big things that I think that our industry can really capitalize on to level up our game in this. But really what it boils down to is breweries are already doing a lot of good in their communities. I've been to countless fundraisers at breweries over the years, whether it's an animal adoption, whether it's a beer brewed in partnership with a charity. Right now, in light of all the storm damage that's happened in Western North Carolina, a lot of breweries are by default just trying to give back, trying to help a community that's not their own, but trying to help people that have gone through something terrible and are using the platform of a small business of beer to make a difference. And that's really what we're talking about. I call this talk aggressively doing good, because I believe that a lot of us naturally want to do good. And I believe a lot of breweries specifically do good when the opportunity presents itself. But what the goal is, or what I believe the goal should be, is to step that up, to not just sit back and wait for an opportunity, but to go out and hunt for a chance to aggressively do good in our community, to actually make a big difference in the people's lives that are around, or in our community and around our breweries. We want to raise that standard. We want breweries to step up their game. And I believe that it is an incredible opportunity for our industry to industry-wide revolutionize how small businesses give back. And it's already built into our DNA. A couple of the challenging pieces, or the things I want to challenge you with when it comes to building a generosity program, or building philanthropy into your business that you work at or that you own. The two main things that I want to talk through, the first of them is consistency. So to give you an idea for us at Coastal, what that looks like is every Wednesday night, we partner with a different local nonprofit. And from 5 p.m. until the end of the night when we close, we give 10% of our sales, and we give 100% of the tips that night to the different local nonprofits. That is the number one way that we as a brewery give back. We do that consistently. We do that regularly. It is different and weird when we don't have a Wednesday night with a nonprofit coming in. That's something that our staff's used to. That's something that our culture is used to. Our customers are used to. They know that if they come in on a Wednesday night, there is 99 or 95% chance that they are going to get to contribute to a good local cause of people making a difference. And as I said before, I don't think that everyone has to do something weekly. I don't believe that it's a platform for every brewery to do it exactly how we do it. But what I really believe is that breweries need to build this consistency into their schedule. They need to build it into their programming. They need to build it into their marketing, that this constant or regular interval charity work or giving back is a massive opportunity. And what it does is it allows us to continue to build this brand of craft beer or independent craft beer as being a group of people who are here for the good of our community. That consistency makes a massive, massive difference. You don't want to be the brewery that just does these charity events or just gives back to their community when things are tough, or when you really need a good press article or something like that. People can sniff that out. People can see through that. You're not fooling anybody. But consistency helps remove that from the equation. A while ago, we hosted at Coastal, a fundraiser on a Wednesday night for a local firefighter. And that firefighter was dealing with some medical stuff. We knew that he wasn't able to afford the bills that were coming due, so we raised some money for him that night. We were able to help make a difference for him and for his family. And then about a year after that fact, unfortunately, he passed away. And when we on our social media made a post about thinking of our friends at the fire department, thinking about how they lost this essential brother who had been working alongside them for so long, and just that our hearts went out to him, right? Just to try to elevate what these men and women do for our community. And at first, somebody took a stab at us. Of course, right? Somebody said it's just another business trying to capitalize on a tragic situation. What was beautiful about it is our consistency is actually what protected us. Within about 30 minutes, there were multiple additional comments from firefighters and from our Wednesday night regulars saying this is not Coastal trying to get some quick cash. They genuinely care about this family. They genuinely care about our fire department, and that consistent way of giving back actually ended up protecting us from what could have been a bad look PR wise on social media, things like that. So one of the beauties of consistency is that once people know that that's your routine, they'll protect you when somebody says, that just seems like a cash grab. They're your own customers, or the people, those nonprofits that you've done work with, will be able to step in and say, no, it's not that. It's not how that works. And that's an awesome thing. Whether your rhythm for your generosity, your giving is weekly, or whether it's monthly or quarterly, I would encourage you to, if you were the person in charge of scheduling and those kind of things, I would encourage you to make that a priority when you sit down to put together your list of happenings and goings-ons in your tap room or whatever that looks like. That when you program it, when you plan for it, when you create that consistency, it will remove a lot of doubt on what your true motives are, and it will help protect you because it shows that you're reliable. It shows that you're committed to this. That this is something, for better, for worse, that we are going to make happen, and we as a business, we as a staff, value and care about. And so consistency is the first of the two things that I would love to see us as an industry level up on, to get better at, where we show up regularly in those fundraisers, in those charity events, whatever that looks like. But we have a rhythm, and people know that they can count on us, and they know that we are committed to this for the long haul. The second thing that I think is a big opportunity for us to make a difference in being able to aggressively do good, or look for new ways to do good, is transparency. To be transparent. I've heard it over and over. I've seen it happen over and over. I'm sure you guys have as well. You'll see or hear about a fundraiser, and they always use the phrase, a portion of sales will go to blank. What I would like to do is I want to eradicate that terminology. A portion of sales means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. If your team is already doing this consistently, if you've already built this commitment to doing good and being a force for good in your community, then it means you've already thought about what portion of sales you're going to give on that evening, or for that event, or from those can sales, or from those draft pours. What I would encourage all breweries to do is to just say it. Just post and say what you're going to give, whether it's 5% or 10% or or 50%, or it's a dollar per, or whatever it is. Clearly communicate that. Show your cards to the people who are interested. And what it will do is it will remove any kind of doubt. It'll remove any kind of hesitation from those people that want to show up, that want to support that cause. What it'll also do is it will create an environment where nonprofits love your brewery. Nonprofits do not get transparent communication from businesses very often. And so with something like this, we as brewery people, we as an industry have an opportunity to pave the way. I know that those fast food restaurants and those quick dining options that do the fundraiser nights, all of them do a portion of sales. But what if we were just clear and transparent with it? What if we were able to figure out for each of us what a win-win would look like, and then clearly and loudly say that over and over and over. On Wednesday nights, when I have customers in, I want them to know that 100% of our tips are going to go to the charity. I want them to know that 10% of sales are going to that nonprofit. I want them to know that all that is clearly laid out. All of that is crystal clear. Our nonprofits have the opportunity. I have a conversation with them after each Wednesday night to make sure that they understand what the numbers look like for the evening and how that 10% of sales gets trickled to them. And that level of transparency has done us a ton of good. I believe that level of consistency and transparency can absolutely radicalize how small businesses in general are able to give back to our local community, are able to make a big difference. It doesn't, as I said, it doesn't matter what your percentage is, how much you give per pour or per 4-pack or whatever numbers you come up with. Clearly communicate them. It should show up in your marketing. It should show up in the point of sale right there if it's in your tap room, right there at the register. Have a sign advertising clearly how much is going back. And what that does is that gives the charity that you're working with peace of mind. It gives your customers peace of mind. It gives your staff peace of mind, knowing that you are clearly designating what goes to the charity that evening. You will have an opportunity to get staff who deeply care about local nonprofits, that care about business as a force for good, who will sign up to work those nights if you're willing to clearly communicate. If you're willing to have that conversation early in the process. So for us, what that looks like, every staff member that we hire, we let them know up front exactly what flat rate they will get paid if they work one of our charity events. And for some of them, that hooks them. I've got a staff member who works almost every single Wednesday night. I've got another staff member that is very, very consistent on Wednesday night. My two closers for our charity events are almost always the same two people. And it's because they care about our community. They want to be a force for good. They celebrate when we set records for how much we made a donation in a single night. They know that they are giving up their tips. They're taking a flat rate, but they know that those tips are not going to anything else besides doing good in our community and making an impact where it really can matter and where it can really make a difference. Your brewery may be passionate about a lot of different causes. Your brewery may be passionate about one specific cause that's on brand for you. There are so many different ways to be generous as businesses, as breweries, but consistency and transparency are the key. So it's going to look different every time. It's going to look different based on what matters or what doesn't matter to your ownership, to your staff, to your people that are manning it, what your community needs and looks like. But these two things will really, really help us set apart as an industry for doing good and creating positive impact in our local neighborhoods. The awesome thing about all of this is that this is already built into the DNA of our industry, right? Our industry already is known for being philanthropic, right? Like our industry is known for being generous. As I mentioned earlier, I've been to a lot of dog adoption events at breweries. I've drank so many different charity-focused beers where 10% or $1 per 4-pack went to a local nonprofit that had partnered up with a brewery. Right? This is built into who independent craft breweries really are, and all we're doing is just pushing the accelerator a little bit more to become known for this as an industry-wide development, as an opportunity where municipalities look forward to breweries opening because of the good that we do, not just the tax money. They love the tax money, but they also love it when there's a business that's focused on giving back. And so that is a massive, massive thing. We really already have the bones in place for this. This model's already there for our industry. We just need to step it up a little bit. The other question is this, and this is just me dreaming a little bit. But what if craft beer? What if independent craft beer? What if local breweries were better than anybody else at doing good? What if we built that reputation as an industry to the extent where everyone knew it, where craft brewing became synonymous with taking care of our communities, where craft beer and hazy IPAs and all these crazy different concoctions that people have made over the years? What if we got to the point where that became equated to doing good for our community? The cool part is there's a lot of other alcohol industries out there, and nobody gives back the way craft breweries do. I've heard about wineries that give back through a fancy gala or something like that, but consistently and transparently, nobody beats craft beer. Wine does not beat craft beer. Distilleries do not give back the way we give back as breweries. They for one reason or another, that they do not have the option of being as big of an impact in their local communities. Partially it's because there's not as many of them, but partially it's just that's not their culture. Guys, this is our culture. We already are steps ahead in this process. RTDs that are all the rage, right? No, RTDs don't give back. Nobody in that world is worried about their local community. Nobody in that world is worried about impacting their neighbors or helping kids that need after school attention or taking care of the homeless or stocking food banks. Nobody does that like craft beer does. And so we are already in a significant advantage against everybody else when it comes to being better at doing good than any of the other alcohol industries. What I want to see is I would love to see us level that up over and over. I'm saying that because that is really the drumbeat of what I'm trying to communicate. That's really the drumbeat of where I believe our industry needs to move. Right now, we're in a little bit of a downturn in the industry right now. Beer is not selling as well as it has in years past. I get that the craft beer movement has waves, and we're right now we're looking like we're coming up on a dip, or we're in the middle of a dip. But what if we could use this? What if our commitment to generosity, was something that could correct that and get that bell curve back moving in the right direction. People still care. They may not be drinking as much beer. There may be way more options at their local grocery store, at their local bottle shop. There's way more to choose from nowadays, but they still care about doing good. And so if we can tie and build our businesses into this model or into this concept that we are here as a force for good for our community, we can win back customers. Because as I said, nobody else gives back the way we do. Nobody else is there. Nobody else has that big step up to get started with. And there are plenty more opportunities. There's plenty more options. You guys out there may already have a totally different idea. You may have a different system in place, and that's awesome. Really, I believe that breweries give back in a lot of different ways. They take steps to do a lot of different things for the people that live nearby. But I want to see us rally around this idea of being consistent, of being transparent, of really making a difference. We've got friends at breweries across the country, and all of them have different backgrounds. They all have different vibes. They all have a different kind of feel. But what they all do care about is their communities. Whether it's my friends out in Oklahoma, whether it's people on the West Coast, whether it's that Great Lakes region, wherever you're at, you most likely have people at your brewery that already care about their community. They already care about giving back. Some of them may be tied in with veteran organizations or rescuing animals, food insecurity, supporting the LGBT community. There are countless ways to give back. There's countless ways to engage with the culture around you, and to not just be a place that sells really good beer. I like that. I love drinking really good beer. I like when our team makes really good beer. But what if we leveled up? The question I want to leave you with is one that I've been asking myself since we opened Coastal Fermentory, and that is just this simple concept. If you closed your doors tomorrow, would anybody miss you that wasn't already coming to your brewery? If the times were tough and it was time to pull the plug and end the business, the brewery couldn't go on any further, would anybody miss your brewery besides the people that come and drink your beer? Because the reason I ask that is because I want to make an impact bigger than just beer drinkers. I want teetotalers in our community. I want the sober, curious people in our community to know that even if they don't come and consume alcohol from us, even if they don't come drink beer at Coastal or ever take a sip of what we're making, I want them, when the day comes that we go out, or if the day comes that we go out, I want them to say, man, that stinks, because they did a lot of good for our community. They supported and sponsored a lot of charities that I care about, and they were always great partners. Like, those are the things. That's the legacy piece when it comes to craft beer. If we want to make that difference, if we want to make that impact, we have to be consistent, we have to be transparent, and we really have to step up our game. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Hope you do well, and hopefully you get an opportunity to continue to do good right there in your community. Thank you, guys.